Hello, and welcome to the Venue Coach Blueprint for Owners. I'm Kyle Labar. This podcast is all about helping you fill your wedding venue with more bookings, earn more from each one, and keep your customers happy for a long time. We'll also talk about some tough times and big lessons that I've learned along the way. Let's dive in together and make your venue the best spot for weddings. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Venue Coach. Today's episode, I wanted to talk about your sales person. It could be your venue manager or just a salesperson's compensation and how to make sure that it aligns both your interests and their interests to keep everybody happy and to avoid any downside negative effects for you. Once upon a time, we had a manager who was just paid a flat salary, whether they were good or not, and they were leaning pretty heavy on the or not side of that equation. And that was really unfortunate. And what was more unfortunate was that we were paying them the salary regardless of their performance. And we realized that we needed to restructure our compensation plan so that way it aligned the goals. So what we wound up doing was doing a lower base salary, something that somebody can get by on and have a little bit of some of security in that, and then we built out the compensation commission structure. So what we wanted to do was to make sure that not only the incentives were aligned today, but they'd be aligned tomorrow, and they'd be aligned at the end of the year. So what we built into the package was a monthly commission and then an end of year commission goal. And so I'm going to break that down for you real quick. Just this is I'm not saying that this is the best way to do this. I'm saying this is what we have found to have worked so far, and it's something that we have seen just really help motivate our salesperson, as well as making sure we are protected from downside risk. So the downside risk, I'll talk about that real quick. The downside risk protection that you get is if you have somebody in that position that sucks and is not getting sales, then you are not paying them as much as you otherwise would. So you're cutting your risk down. So for us, we went from a flat $4,500 a month to a $2,700 a month salary. So we almost, not quite in half, but we chopped off about a third of it. And that way, if they suck, we're not paying that extra, whatever that math is, $1,800. We're not paying the extra $1,800 a month while they continue to not perform. And that gives you more time as well to get somebody else in and get a better suited person in that role. Now let's talk about the upside. We have tied to the commission is a base quota for the sales before our manager can get a commission. So that's based on the number that we need to break even operationally plus one. And so for some of you, if you own your venue and you just pay property taxes and insurance, whatever, you're going to have a lower number than somebody who financed the whole thing and is at 11% interest with an SBA loan, and they're paying out thousands and thousands of dollars every month. That's going to be quite a bit different, but either way, the math is still the same. So you just take the number that you need every month to break even, to pay all your bills, and to cover the event, plus one, and that's the number that they need to achieve to just maintain their job and that they need to hit before they can get a commission. So then after that number, the commission starts to come in, and we do it based on the amount that we want to pay. Most managers, venue managers, or salespeople are typically paid between 50 and 100,000, just depending on the area, depending on the venue. Like if it's a high-end venue, obviously they'll get paid a bit more. If you're in the mid tier, then you're going to pay in that middle range, but that's very typical. So the commission is structured around that. We take the amount that we want to pay. So we were paying $4,500 a month, and we say, okay, well, we want our manager to hit 10 bookings a month. So let's divide by 10. That's $450 per booking. Our minimum is 6 that she needs to hit. So 450 times 6, 2,700. See how the math works? Then on number 7, she would get the $450 commission. And so she's working up to that $4,500 instead of us just hoping that it happens. So that aligns for the monthly. And then you might say, well, what if they don't hit it during the month? Well, if they're brand new, a little bit of grace is a good thing. You work with them, train them, remedial training, that sort of thing. But you also don't want to give them too much time sucking because this is a critical position in your venue. So give them, if it's the first month and they are whatever, and you don't see signs of improvement the next month, then unfortunately you got to move on and get somebody else in there. Um, but train them, make sure that they have the proper training and they're equipped to be able to succeed. So if you don't have enough tours coming in, then that's on you. That's not their fault. Like if you're only getting 5 tours a month and you expect them to close 100% of those, that's on you. You're wrong. That's not going to happen. But is it unreasonable to expect a 50% conversion rate? No, I think that's very reasonable. And that's actually a number that you should be striving for. At our venues, we're hitting 60, 70% conversions, and that's how we have worked up. That's what we've worked up to. And I actually train and coach venues on how to do that. Um, but anyways, so if you're not getting them enough opportunities to sell, that's on you, not on them. But if their conversion rate sucks, and that's how you can measure it, is based on the conversion rate. So we have a requirement with our manager that she maintains a 50% conversion rate or better on average and is getting her minimum quota of six sales a month. And so it's our job as owners and um, her bosses to make sure that she has ample opportunity to sell. So that's on us. Anyways, moving on. So in order to align the long-term incentive, because sometimes sales can be a little bit volatile. Tours may not happen as frequently during certain months for your venue or for your area. For us, we get a die down around in March, and then we see it die off again around October or well September, and so there are some slower months. So, well, Kyle, what do you do during those months? Well, we take the average. Like I said, a little bit of grace is necessary. You take the average and you make sure that they're still doing good. So then the last incentive is to keep them motivated throughout the whole year. So at the end of the year, we do a year-end bonus based on their monthly averages. So if they average, for us, if they average 6 a month, then they don't get a bonus at the end of the year. But if they get 7, then we do a tiered bonus structure. So 7, for us, it's $2,000. At 8 on average, it's 4,000. At 9, it's 8,000, and at 10, it's $16,000 bonus. And so we want to pay that bonus out. If our manager is getting 10 bookings every single month for 12 months, that's awesome. That's 120 bookings a year. Why wouldn't I give a bonus for that? And then at 11, it's just an extra $4,000. So it's 16 plus 4. Or if it's 12 a month, then it would be an extra $8,000. So we can't keep doubling. Exponential laws would crush us. But we can keep adding to the bonus there. So that we have found that to be very, very motivating for our manager. And her target is 10. She wants the $16,000 bonus at the end of the year. Plus, it gives her an extra, let's see, 4 times 450, an extra $1,800 a month. Plus the 16,000, it puts her around $70,000. I can't remember the exact number, but should be $70,000 on the on-target earnings. So a lot of people, and this was actually one of my clients said this. They didn't have classical sales training. They don't know how that whole works. So when I was coaching them on hiring a salesperson, they didn't know how to phrase these types of things. So for you, if you're looking for somebody, it's base pay plus commission and an on target earning OTE of whatever amount that you want to pay with the bonuses. And that's how you position that to salespeople, and then you will attract some talent who is interested in making money. So, anyways, I hope that this breakdown was useful for you. I have found it to be very successful in our venues, and I just wanted to share that with everybody. Maybe it'll help you save a little bit on the front end and make sure your incentives are aligned with your salespeople so that they can be motivated throughout the year and work towards a goal. And then if you're not getting them enough opportunities to sell, i.e., tours, then you would need to take a look at your marketing efforts and attract more people. So I can talk more about that in a later episode, or if you need personal help with that, let me know, and I can definitely evaluate your business and give you some pointers. Or if you need help, more heavy involvement help, I can also come out to your venue and analyze it. I do a 2-day in-person training, and we've seen great success with that. So, anyways, if you found this useful, stick around for the next one, and I'll see you there.